Hey family, I'm all disorganized trying to get the TV off. So hi, real quick, y'all know I always change something about myself physically every so often when I just feel the need to. So I'm just going to show it off real quick. Got a nose ring. What you think? It actually, when I showed people, they didn't even notice I had a nose ring. They said it looked like it should have always been there. Like it wasn't like a new thing for them. So I said, okay, that's good. And, it fits my face. People are not really, it's not all that stand out where it's like, oh, she has, something on her face. But yeah, this video, I wanted to respond to my girl, Leslie Monique. She made an excellent video about what she looks for in a significant other. And this is a topic that's really relevant to me in my life because y'all know from the past couple of videos, they weren't vlog related at all. It was all about, relationship type stuff. And even recently, I posted something on my Facebook page in a couple of other pages just ranting. Like I just had to do a little vent because I said, pretty much, I was told all my life, focus, stay in school, follow your dreams, and he will come. He will show up. Whoever this guy, this mysterious, knight in shining armor, like once you make it, he will be there and y'all will just go off and have babies and have a beautiful family because you chose the high road. You chose not to, party too hard, have babies out of wedlock, and just be in a situation you don't want to be in. So I was ranting on Facebook. I said, where's my Prince Charming? I said, I did everything I was supposed to do, and people are saying, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with me, and of course, because one thing about myself, I do a lot of introspection. So I'm not the type of person that is narcissistic. I can see my faults. I wear them proudly on my sleeve. People will know my faults, and I will admit where I am wrong and what things that I can, do and change. So that's why I wanted to respond to your video because some of the things that you mentioned, I definitely, understand where you're coming from. And I guess I got my own little, my own perspective that I wanted to share too. One of the first things you mentioned was long distance relationship. And also, um, to her subscribers and anybody else watching this video, I'm not as organized and put together. This is like one dry run. Like that's how I do my videos. I don't do any editing. So, this is just one go, so I don't have any little captions or anything. So I'm just going to verbalize everything. So she mentioned long distance relationships and she said for her, they don't really, work. Unfortunately for me, and maybe not unfortunately, but it just seems to me, I've only had one boyfriend, like serious relationship. And that wasn't like I was like in my 20s when that happened. I wasn't even in high school. No high school sweetheart, no middle school sweetheart. When people be talking about relationships and they going way back into their teens, I'm like, those weren't relationships. Unless y'all were together through beyond high school, then yeah, that was something special. But if you're talking about, oh, I've had many boyfriends and what they were all in middle school and high school and you're an early adult, like that don't count to me. I'm sorry, that's not a serious relationship. Like my relationship, we lived together, we shared bills, we struggled together, we triumphed together. That was what we did. We had a system that worked for us, when we were together. Now, when I left to go to law school, that would have changed our relationship into a long distance relationship. Now, it went from being, in the same house to me being over here and he over here. Now, we had our issues in our relationship, so it wasn't going to, it wasn't going to last. My mom actually saw it as a blessing that I was leaving just to give me, because at that time I was just so locked in. I was just so whatever, you know how that happens. But I think long distance relationships works the best when it's like a situation like that. If like they are already together and one person may have to go over here temporarily to do a job or something, and then they come back, or a year or two, they go over here and do a program because they want to better themselves, and also it'll be better for the family unit that they're trying to create and build together. So we want to make sure that both parties are doing their part. And, trying to jump off a long distance relationship, guys have tried me on that. It didn't work. Because they were never in it. Now, I'm the type of person, I'm comfortable with a long distance relationship. A lot of people are not. I'm very secure in myself. I'm the type of person, if we're together, that's my number one, and I don't feel the need. I don't get lonely like that. I spend so much time alone that lonely does not do it for me. Like, I can be alone and be okay. There are a lot of people that cannot be alone. I've lived all over the world. I've traveled and moved myself alone. Every place I've been to, who was I with? Myself. So I'm solo dolo. That's all I know. So it's like, so a little distance don't hurt me. It may not work for men that need that constant, affection, because men don't like to admit they need affection from us. Otherwise, they wouldn't mess with us, So, I can understand also the fact that, like you said, you're trying to jump off a relationship from long distance and y'all have, I can understand how that can be problematic too, but I'll still say, but still does depend, because right now, I set up a situation where I'm kind of convincing my mother to be more open-minded towards that, because she has a guy that, makes her happy, that completes her, and they're both mature, and they're at a stage in their life, their kids are either grown or almost there. So, they're, trying to see, how they're going to make it work. And he's willing to move over to Maryland, to where she is, and that's what works. Like, they are mentally, spiritually at the same place, and they've seen each other. They've made trips back and forth. And so far it is working very well, and the fact is, he's busy. He's at school, at work. My mom is at work and school. They both at work and school. So, when they, so in that type of situation, I think it works, and it takes a certain type of individual to pull that off. And that's why, in trying to show my mother that it could possibly work. Now, I now understand where she's coming from, because I'm moving towards the direction of, well, maybe not for me, and if it does happen, I would have to have, me and dude have to just really, really, really be on the same mental page. But I really don't want to try to jump that off. It's too difficult. And for some reason, I can't meet guys in my own city. Dudes that are far away hit me up so much, but the guys in my city don't even bat an eye. It's amazing. Physical attractiveness, absolutely. I take good care of myself. I expect the same from my guy. I eat well and I detox on the regular. I expect the same from my guy. If he's not already mentally there, and if he's not willing to open up, and be mentally there, it's not going to work, because I refuse to be with a fat, unhealthy man. I refuse to be with a man that eats anything and everything and is going to affect his erectile function, so he can't keep it up when we're, having sex, or he doesn't have the energy, or he can't impregnate me. No. And I also don't want to, outlive him. I want us to be old and gray together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a serious issue of our men dying so soon. And a big thing about that is because they sometimes, like women, they get lazy. They get complacent. They get comfortable. And for me, a guy has to already be on that track when I meet him. I can't meet a guy that's kind of like, he wasn't physical. So that means dudes that I'm most attracted to have played sports, ran track, played football. I like a bigger guy myself, because I'm 6 feet and I'm slim. So I need a dude that's bigger than me. I don't like to have height requirements, but you have to be heavier than me. I'm heavy by myself. I don't want to be able to push you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be able to, like, I need that. And then, you have to be physically attractive. He doesn't have to have hair. He doesn't have to have locks, but he has to have something going for him, so that will keep me interested. So, I mean, that's very important. He doesn't have to be attractive in your eyes. As long as he's attractive to me, that's what matters. And, and I agree with you there. As long as he, satisfy my physical attractiveness, that works. Age, definitely. I no longer entertain older guys. And I'm starting to not entertain younger guys either. Older men, I'm sorry to say, they only want one thing. They always have an old lady. They always got some chick on over here. It's just they're not completely always single. Number two, they erectile issues. I just told you. I need someone that can keep up with me. I don't want to be. I'm sorry. Like, sex is very important to me, you guys. So if you can't keep up with me, get away from me. You can't do nothing for me. Okay. So so when it comes to age, the guy, not even me just feeling a little, immature around him, or maybe not as experienced or learned. It's more so of making sure we're on the same mental page, because I've noticed a lot of men, older men, have smaller minds than the minds of our younger guys. Their minds are really small. Not all of them, but something is going on, and it makes me question why they're single at that age anyway. It does cause pause for me. And younger guys, God bless them, but they just don't know what to do. It's like they lie to me to impress me, and that does not impress me. Don't lie about your age. Don't lie about your height. I don't care. And oh my God, I had a high school student. I was like, you trying to get me to go to jail? Like, you trying to get me locked up, dude? Like, get away from me. If you are younger than 21, no. No. Just go get away. I don't want to deal with it. And especially the ones that say that they're mature for their age. Who said that you were mature? Like, what are you measuring your maturity against? Because I've talked to a couple of them, and I'm like, baby, you got a lot of growing up to do. You might be more mature than the girls in your age range, but you're not where, I need you to be. And it's not about me molding and shaping him and changing him. It's the fact that this is how he presents himself to me. So I'm going to expect that. And I don't get it. I feel like you lied. So I'm like, you got to go. So I can understand, and guys in my own age range, I don't know why it's harder for me to find guys in my age range. Guys in my age range don't even look my direction. It's just, I don't know. So, stability. Definitely. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. I need to know that, you're comfortable in your own self, and, you can, you have some, like you mentioned independence about yourself, that you are self-sufficient, and you're mentally level-headed, you're spiritually level, and you don't have a lot of stuff going on. You're not bringing in too much for me to try to, fix, or you might have had a bad experience with your ex and you're not quite over that. I understand we all have had somebody do us in. We all, but guess what? Women are resilient. We are taught that we cry and we move on. When men's egos and parts are broken, they just take it out on the world. And they use that with every woman. I ain't the one. Because I had to get over mine. So, like, every guy that ever wronged me or did anything, I never said F guys and I'm going to be gay now and just forget them. No. I mean, I just take that and it's going and leading into my last point that you made, is learning from that situation. I say, okay, what have I learned from this situation? I've learned this about myself. I also learned this is what I, like in a guy. This is what I don't like in a guy. So I just take all of those experiences, to better myself. A lot of people don't even take that time to do that introspection. See, and I noticed that a lot of guys don't even know that about me. They don't even think that, it's so easy to just write me off as, another black girl that, has issues, and it's like, well, how? Because I don't have any kids. I'm not struggling. My credit is good. I'm somewhat educated, and, I have a positive outlook on life. What more do you need? You know what I'm saying? So, but guys would still say, well, y'all still all the same. Y'all still, and I'm like, you know what? Around here, like, I don't even entertain it. One guy even asked me on my status, I wrote that status, remember I said I was venting, this week. He said, what is it that you look for in a guy? I guess he thought I was going to list a whole bunch of shit, like, oh, I need him to cook. I need him, I need him to be trustworthy and have integrity and honesty. All the typical things that we ask for, for each other. But I'm like, those are givens. Those are not qualities you seek. Those are things that should already be in that person. You looking for that extra, what's going to take you to the next level? And I say, you know what? I don't even have standards. I don't even have a list of things I look for. And people say that's my problem because, I'm talking to the wrong dudes. And I'm like, perhaps I make bad, dating bad dating decisions. But you hear guys on the one hand screaming, we don't give our men a chance. We just bypass them. We judge them based on the outside appearances. And you have the other ones over here saying, well, you chose the losers. What am I supposed to do? So this is what I say. I meet them where they are. and I accept them as they are right then. So that means whatever they did in their past, I don't use that against them. See, a lot of people want to know, what did you do before? How were you with your previous relationships? Why didn't they work? I'm not interested. It's not my business. And I don't ever use that. I would never use that. Like if they care to share, cool, but I would never bring it up in a conversation because I've had it done to me, and that's how I learned not to shut the fuck up. Because that's what they need. They need something to hook you when things, I guess, go awry. And then that's not right, because you're supposed to deal with that person as they are. If they've, made amends, or if they haven't moved on, from that situation, you may not want to take on that burden. You need to know, you need to know at least that much, but at the same time, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know why they did what they did, because they have already paid the cost during that time. They've already experienced it, hurt, and moved on. So, now they're with you. You need to accept them for who they are and how they are presenting themselves to you, and you judge them based on that and what they are trying to do to move forward. You don't move backwards. And that's the problem that a lot of people do. They want to dig up stuff from the past, or they'll bring in their past experiences and put it on the next person like they're supposed to change things. Like right now, there's a guy right now I am like pursuing like crazy, but he's keeping his distance because he said something about what a girl did to him. And I'm like, you're dealing with me now. And if you're trying to deal with me, why let that go? Deal with this right here and make your judgment off of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry she did that to you. I can't go back and change anything. And if you have a skewed mindset about that and you refuse to change it, that's on you. But I'm not going to sit there and coddle and try to, and I guess make excuses, or I don't know what it is, but he's really just keeping his distance, and I will respect that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to push it because, like I said, if he really wanted to, to do that with me, he'll come around. And he knows that, so, that's where it is with me. I'm not going to, I told him where I stood. I'll let him, whatever he does with that information, that's on him. And that's how I want them to, do me the same way. You give me, something, and let me take it the way I'm going to take it, and I'll deal with it the way I'm going to deal with it. But, this is how, I deal with people. I meet them where they are. I don't have a list of standards. I don't say they have to have a college degree or anything of that nature, and people say that's where you mess up. You know what? You're not going to talk at both sides of your mouth. You're not going to tell me I'm dating the wrong people, but when I do give people a chance, I'm still wrong. You're not going to do that. I'm going to date people who present themselves to me, in a respectful way, and that are actually genuinely interested about me and not interested in using me and trying to get anything that they can, like whether it be money, sex, or just to say that, I don't know. I don't know. So when it comes to, what I look for in a significant other, it's really simple. Just be yourself. I'm a simple girl. And I promise you, I'm a simple girl. I don't require much at all. And that's probably, a problem. But, it's also how I choose to handle things. I don't make a lot of requirements. I don't try to change him. If anything, I try to nurture and encourage whatever dreams and aspiration he has, but that's still something that he needs to do on his own. I'm not going to be there to push him to get it going, so that's just how I am, so I'm glad you made this video. So, cause I just wanted to, respond with that. And, I feel you, I can understand where you're coming from, especially also with the space. Yeah. I'm such an introvert that I really do need my space. Like I need my me time so I can get back to me, to me and me and come back, into, whatever situation, so I can definitely understand that. And yeah, see, men, most girls are not going to say we want a car, we want money, want a man with this, that, and the other. It's really simple. Be yourself. Not with a bunch of phoniness. And be handsome and have a good body. And take care of it like a well-engined machine. That's it.